As you know, every December, people make it a tradition to see one of the most beloved holiday ballets in the world, the Nutcracker. But when it premiered in St. Petersburg back in 1892, it was not an immediate hit. Artistic director Michael Bannigan is here to share how Tchaikovsky's music helped to turn the Nutcracker into the classic we love today. And it's the perfect way to celebrate BalletForte's 30 years of performances in Fort Bend County. He is joined by dancers Emmeline Brown, Sage Sowa, and Lily Gardenauer. We'll see them perform and talk to them in just a little bit. Y'all look so beautiful. Look at that. Okay, what position is that one that they were just in? What's that?
That's pose A or B plus.
Oh, okay, okay, good. Thank you very much. All right, Michael, as a young kid growing up in A-Leaf in West Houston, around 12 years old, you played tennis. Ballet was not on your radar.
No, it wasn't. And my coaches, to gain more coordination, they told me I needed to take dance classes, and they told me Lynn Swan, the receiver of the Pittsburgh Steelers, they said he took dance
Patrick
classes.
Swayze did. His mom actually owned a dance studio.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, well, if they can do it, I can do it.
Yeah, all right. So you took the dance class, and we don't have to ask what happened, but what happened, right?
Right. I fell in love with it, and ultimately I dropped tennis.
Yeah, and went into dance. Yeah,
went into dance.
Not surprised, but you train with Allegro Ballet of Houston. You connected to Regional Dance America, which supports youth and pre-professional ballet companies across the U.S., which kind of is the foundation of what you all do. But you dropped out of school and you decided, this is it. This is what I want to do.
This is what I wanted to do, and it's one of those things where it snowballed. We started with a small Nutcracker performance.
Yeah, and let me back up to creating BalletForte. So a lot of people would say, oh no, the big city over there already has a ballet in Houston, right? And you think big ballets, it's New York, it's LA, it's Houston, Chicago, but you created it right there in Fort Bend County. And we talk about this all the time, how sometimes, back in the day, everything was like Houston and surrounding cities. Now all those cities have their own personality and their own, fingerprint, if you will.
That's a great point, because we have this community, and we have our show reflects our community with all the dancers, the young performers. And it's very unique to our area.
Yeah, and the other thing that's unique is what sets you apart. Although you're not like those huge companies, make no doubt about it, the professionalism is there.
Oh no, yeah, absolutely. These guys put in a great amount of time rehearsing with a huge enthusiasm. It's just as fulfilling and interesting as our big brothers downtown.
Yeah. All right, I love the arts, and I always say to parents, if you can get your child involved in something, whether they'll be professional at it ever, get them involved in it, because there's so many lessons that they learn. For these young ladies and the men who are in the company, you have to balance your time. There's a lot of discipline, but you got to balance your time. They're trying to navigate their way through high school.
Sure, and that's the great thing about the arts, is that you learn responsibility and goal planning and how to manage your time. It's life lessons.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about the art of ballet. I think everyone, when they see a ballet for the first time, especially in today's time, it takes you a minute. I remember my son went and he goes, I don't get it at first. And then when we left, he goes, I see. When you go see a ballet, you have to put your mind with what's on stage. And so it really is interactive. The audience is really responsible for completing the production, if you will.
That's a great point. We're not just passive audience members. If you really put yourself into it, the music, the movement will move you.
Yeah, all right. The Nutcracker Ballet, I mentioned earlier that it was not an immediate hit, but there are things that it didn't get just dropped. That's a good thing. They didn't just say, okay, put it in a box and forget about it. So what happened? How'd that unfold?
Well, in 1944, well, first off, the original Nutcracker, it bombed.
Yeah.
And then they took that Nutcracker to the U.S. in 1944, and it was performed in San Francisco. But then 10 years later, in 1954, George Balanchine, he re-choreographed the Nutcracker, and it became the big hit it is now in the U.S.
Yeah, you added that music to it, and that made because it's iconic with Christmas time. All right, the basic story of the Nutcracker is?
Well, we have Clara, and she's having her Christmas party, and it's about her adventure with the Nutcracker into the Kingdom of Sweets.
Yeah, with the Nutcracker comes alive in the whole bit. Okay, so when you're doing these dances, I always say this, and it's the whole thing of when people use that analogy that we have to be on the same page, people. And dance is not the same page, it's the very same movement and the very same part of that movement. And we're looking at all this here. Everybody has to have it together or it could ruin everything, right?
Right.
Oh my gosh, especially when when you have some of those moves where you're catching people or holding people up in the air.
Yeah, those lifts.
Oh, that is so great. Okay, so at BalletForte, you do a number of things there. Obviously, there's the professional part of the company, but can people go and learn to dance?
Absolutely. We have a training studio for contemporary dance, and we take them all. And we go from serious hobbyists to career-minded dancers.
Yeah. All right. If you've already seen the Nutcracker, go back again. I can go again and again and again. As we saw the video from that stage a little bit earlier, there's so many things that are going on at the same time. Like if you go again, you'll go, I didn't realize that was there. I didn't realize that was there. Tell us how BalletForte's Nutcracker, how is that going to unfold this year? What can we expect?
Well, here's the thing. You can watch, we have 4 public performances, and each performance is different. And so you're gonna see different casts, even different changes in the choreography.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay, so we've got all that. Then you have the costuming department, the lighting department, the props department. There's all kinds of jobs in something like this. All right, but of course the job that we see front and center is the ballerinas. Emmeline, hello there, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good, all right. What made you decide you wanted to dance?
Well, I took my first ballet class when I was 2, and then I did my first Nutcracker when I was 7, and I just love performing in front of an audience and feeling the audience's energy. It's really rewarding as a dancer.
Yeah, all right, I want all of y'all to show me your toes. Take your shoes off right now, show me your toes. No. So what's the toughest part about this?
I would say the rehearsal process, because there's always something new to focus on, and it can always be improved.
Yeah, all right. Pass that microphone down to Sage. All right, the tradition of Nutcracker runs strong in your family.
Yes, ma'am, it does. It started out whenever I was 2.5 attending Fort Bend Academy of Dance, and my mom took me to see Clara's Tea, which is presented by BalletForte in its abbreviated version of the Nutcracker. And I had attended that until I was able to perform in Clara's Tea, which is so special. And then not only am I involved in the Nutcracker, but my brother has a role in the Nutcracker too.
Oh, all the family.
Yes,
Oh,
ma'am,
look
it
at that.
is.
All right, Lily, hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good, all right. What was your first brush with the Nutcracker, and what made you decide, I don't want to just watch it from the audience point of view, I'm going to be a part of it on stage?
Well, I started dancing when I was 2 as well.
Oh my God, what is it? I feel like a bad parent because I didn't get my child involved in any of that stuff until later. But yeah, all right. Okay, 2 years old. But did you, when at 2 or a little bit older, did you start imagining yourself on the stage?
Yes, I did. I always dreamed of being on the stage. I started the Nutcracker as an angel, and even back then I always looked up to all the other roles like the Sugar Plum Fairy, and I just was so excited to think that one day I would get to perform roles like that, and just seeing the audience, it was just really special and rewarding for me.
And this is not just a passion for you. You want this to be your livelihood. So you're preparing for college now. What would you like to do?
In college, I'm planning on studying dance science because dance in general and even just this production has just been so meaningful to me these past few years. And so I want to keep dance a big part of my life. So I want to study that so that I can help other dancers in doing things like this as well.
What's the biggest lesson you learned by being a part of a dance company?
I think the biggest lesson that I've learned by being a part of the dance company is kind of not just showing up for yourself, but showing up for everyone else as well, because we're all a unit, we're a group, and so everyone depends on each other. So you're improving for yourself and you're improving for all your friends and everyone else around you.
I think what you just said is teamwork makes the dream work.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? Yeah. But that is an important thing, is that it teaches us so many lessons that will carry us throughout the rest of our lives. It's work ethic, it's all of those things. So if parents can get their kids involved in something like this, please do it.
Please do, yes.
Yeah, all right. BalletForte brings the Nutcracker to the Stafford Center December 12th through the 14th. That is next weekend. You can get a ticket for under $20, plus there's free parking. You'll find all the details at balletforte.org, balletforte.org. And remember, you're getting a professional level performance. We'll see them dance in a minute. But after the break, ready to start 2026 on a healthy note? The free program that can help you reset no matter where you are on your wellness journey. You might be able to fit into one of those ballerina costumes. And now, here are Emmeline, Sage, and Lily with BalletForte performing the Sugar Plum variation from the Nutcracker. Bye.